Hola, hola, hola. Hello, 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 my beautiful planner babe divas. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing lovely. Thank you so much for stopping by and spending some time with me here today. I really appreciate you. Today, it is the last day in November. It is November the 30th. Wait, let me check that to make sure I'm not going crazy. Yep, November the 30th. Tomorrow is December the 1st, and we're officially in the last month of 2026. 2027 is just around the corner. Exciting. I can't wait to get into all the new planners. It's a very exciting time for everyone, but especially for us planner divas, planner babes, because it means that we're getting into new planners soon. Planner stack videos, planner setup videos incoming fast. So stay tuned. Well, I hope you're doing lovely. I hope you had a beautiful, relaxing, rejuvenating Thanksgiving holiday and break. I had a 4-day weekend and it felt like years. I felt like I have been on vacation for years. It was that refreshing, that good, but I'm definitely gonna need it going into the work week and honestly the next 2 weeks, because it's gonna be super busy at work, you guys. So in today's video, I'm gonna be doing a work planner plan with me in my Erin Condren vertical planner. I might change up the cover to a festive cover now. I can't believe it's going to be the last year, you guys. I mean, the last month in my planner. I cannot believe it. We are entering into December here. This was my first Erin Condren vertical style planner, you guys. I had the Hello Kitty planner, super, super cute. And you guys, I thought I was going to go into an Erin Condren vertical next year, but I might not. I might not, guys. So stay tuned. Stay tuned, you guys. All right, without further ado, let's turn the camera around. I really need to set up my week. This is extremely needed right now. Like there's a million things going on right now in my head because I haven't thought of the plan. So like I said, it's going to be an extremely busy week, starting tomorrow, with tomorrow possibly being one of the longest days and the heaviest and most intensive days. So I want Monday absolutely locked in. I want to wake up tomorrow, know exactly where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing, what I need to accomplish, and exactly the timeline, hour by hour play for Monday, at least. And then also for the rest of the week as well. So I don't want to think about it. It's going to be already kind of hard going into it after a 4-day holiday weekend. You know, my mind is not there. My heart's not there. So I need it to be as easy as possible tomorrow and for the rest of this week. So we're going to be definitely planning it out. So that way I can just hit the ground running. Don't even think about it. Just boom, boom, boom. Follow my schedule. Check off those to-dos. Get what needs to get done. And that's how we do it here on the Planning Diva. So let's go, guys. Let's get this plan with me started. Vámonos. All right, you guys, first things first, let's kick it off by putting on the Christmas Joy cover here. Let's see, it's this one right here. I got this one a couple of months ago in preparation for the holiday season. Of course, I had to get it. So let's switch it out. The pumpkin was super cute, but I am ready for Christmas Joy, you guys. We decorated our house this holiday weekend. It's always a huge process because I like to decorate for Christmas. I have like 8 big bins of Christmas decoration. So, you know, I had to spend the whole day decorating the house. It looks super cute though. I'm very happy with it. The tree looks great. So of course I had to get my Christmas cover to match. Let's put the pumpkin cover away until next fall. Yeah, you guys, the sunset coil on my planner was a mistake. I feel like it clashes with almost everything that I put on the cover. It's just such a, a distinct style. We'll never do this again. I think I'm gonna always go either gold or rose gold or even silver. But yeah, how cute is that, you guys? So ready for the holiday season. It has begun. I'm going to really sink into December and the holiday season. And by the way, I am doing Vlogmas. I'm going to try to get a little intro video all filmed and up by tonight. Might be super late by the time I do it. I'm trying to do Planmas/Vlogmas. I'll explain it all in the intro video. I hope that goes up before this video. Already starting off to a rough start, you guys. But let's flip to December. So we have start the day with a smile. We have the monthly here. Christmas Eve, 24th. Christmas Day, the 25th, Wednesday and Thursday this year. Some note pages, a weekly or a monthly overview here. And then this is where we need to start. And I'm going to pull my iPad because there are a couple of things that I need to check on. Mainly, I actually already kind of came up with a plan for the next 2 weeks. So I need to pull it up right now. So I'm going to pull it up here. Okay. So I have a Word document and I have a project outline with some details, a link to where I'm depositing all of my documents on the OneDrive, a proposed timeline, which is what I'm going to be referencing, and then some details about the mice that I'm going to use. In case this is the first video you have seen from me, I work in a laboratory. We study lung disorders. We use a mouse model, and I'm always working with mice because we run our experiments on mice. So a lot of my work has to do with mice. So yeah, last week I had to sit down and really think through the timeline of the experiment I'm running because it is quite a bit of an involved experiment and has a lot of checkpoints and a timeline. Experiments happen over several days and then things need to happen on certain days and certain points of the experiment. So I had to really think through everything, and I thought through essentially the next 2 weeks, and I'm going to be referencing that here to the side. But when I came up with that proposed timeline, it just kind of was a very rough sketch. So here right now, I am going to not only finalize everything, but I am also going to time block and map out the hours and what needs to be done when. And also I need to schedule in my students. I have 3 student schedules that I'm managing right now. And this is super important because I need to provide an hourly schedule to a colleague, a coworker in the lab, because he might join me on certain things at certain stages. So I need to provide to him like an hourly timeline so that way he's prepared in case he needs to join me. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. Let's start off with Monday, you guys. And then actually also for, for stickers, let me think about this. Stickers are not really a priority in my work planner. Plan with me, like they're very second priority, if a priority at all. So I always just pick a random sticker book. It's easiest if I just pick a happy planner sticker book and kind of stick with a, style or a theme. So we're going to go with squad goals. This is the seasonal. This is your year. This is actually a sticker book I'm trying to finish in the next year. I forgot to pull this in my last video where I am sharing all the sticker books I'm trying to finish in the upcoming year. I forgot about this one, but this is a candidate I really want to finish, and I feel like I can definitely do it. I really like this sticker book, you guys. There's lots of functional boxes, which I really enjoy. Okay, so let's get started, you guys. I always put like a fun little decorative sticker at the very beginning of Monday. It helps me like get things started. And then I'm gonna pull for an arched box here, and I'm going to place that there. Okay, so Monday, it's going to be a big day for me, you guys. I'm going to actually layer another box on top of that. Monday is going to be the heaviest day for experiments. I'm working on this big experiment that is going to run through like the next 2 weeks, essentially. And a lot of it is going to happen on a Monday. So I'm going to quickly map out what I think Monday is going to look like for me. And then I'll come back and let you know how it looks. Okay, you guys, I had to think that through. It was a bit messy. I immediately messed up here at the beginning, but that's why we have Tombow correction tape. So this is what my day looks like. I'm going to try to get there a little early. So 8 a.m. start, which I try to get there at 9, but I'm going to sacrifice an hour. It's going to be a long day, you guys. 8 a.m. to 9:30, prep materials and weigh mice. 9:30 to 10:15, weigh mice and transport. 10:15 to 10:30, prep for surgery and anesthesia begins. We're doing a lung injury experiment, so mice have to be given anesthesia. Their lungs are injured via an intertracheal chemical administration. 10:30 to 2 p.m. is the bulk of the time, and that's where we're going to go through all of the experiments with the mice. I'm thinking of doing about 5 mice per hour, so there's 16 mice, so I'm hoping by 2 p.m. I'm done. 2 to 3 p.m. clean up and return the mice to their colonies. Make sure everything is okay. 3 o'clock to 4:30, I'm doing another methodology called cryopreservation. That's where we prepare tissue, namely lung tissue, to go into deep freeze preservation. That's something someone might be joining me for, so I have to email him to let him know I'll be starting that 3 to 4:30, and then from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I am going to be sectioning blocks of tissue on our microtome cutting device, essentially slicing lungs into these ultra thin sections that we can then visualize under the microscope. So that's what we're doing. Full packed day, you guys. That is an 11-hour day with little to no break. I do have a 30-minute break. I'm thinking of trying to sneak in after this cryopreservation and before I start sectioning on the microtome. Not sure if it's going to happen. More so, it's a 30-minute break that I have in there in case I need more time in any of these steps and I'm running a little bit late. I have a little bit of a wiggle room there. But if I do manage to stick to schedule, I have that 30-minute break locked in. It's kind of hard to take a break in the middle of such a long experiment, you guys, unfortunately. So sometimes you just kind of have to power through. So it's going to be a late day, you guys. I'm going to highlight the things that I need to make a note of that I need to book time. So if I'm working with mice, I'll be in the vivarium. Therefore, I need to book time in the vivarium. Same with the microtome. I need to book that. Okay, so I'm going to highlight that. Moving on to Tuesday. We do have a lab meeting on Tuesday, so I always have to make a note of that. And I always block off till 4 p.m. for that. It sometimes ends earlier, it sometimes ends a little bit later, but 4 is about average, so we'll leave it like that. According to my plan here, Tuesday I have to harvest lungs, and I have 4 mice that I'm going to harvest, so that could potentially be done. Oh, and that reminds me, I have my student schedules here. So I'm also trying to map out my students and how they overlap with what I need to get done because they can assist me. And that would essentially help quite a bit. So Tuesday, I have a student coming in from 10 to 3. So I might get him I might get his help doing the lung harvests. So let me write out lung harvests. So I think we're going to do 4 mice. So I will do that with Trent, and he's in lab from 10 to 3 p.m. Well, until 2, because I have to leave at 2. So we'll do that together. Another thing I have to do is cryopreservation, day 2. So cryopreservation of tissue can take up to 5 days. The protocol that we use is 5 days, but it can take as little as, I think, 2 to 3 days. But it's relatively simple procedure. It's just like a switching of media. The tissue goes through different types of media to help preserve it for a deep freeze. So this is going to be cryopreservation day 2. I might do that 9 to 10 a.m. And I think it's just a simple matter of switching tissue out into a new medium. So if all is well, then I can finish that in as little as half an hour, if not less. And if I have extra time, I need to make fresh 4% PFA. And also I need to think about making a concentrated stock of one of the buffers that we use all the time for future experiments. This is also something I could potentially do while my student is here. I might leave him doing the harvest. I might do 2 and then leave him doing the last 2, and then do these things while he's working on the lung harvest. And when I say lung harvest, it's essentially dissecting lungs out of mice. We have to flush blood out of them and then also inflate them with fluid and a fixative like formaldehyde for future processing. So it's a bit involved. It's an involved process. Okay, and if I am able to get out of lab meeting by 4 to 4:30, let's say 4:30, I might go ahead and do a first stage of staining for another experiment I'm working on, which means that I have to email someone and ask about their protocol so that I can do that. So for sure have to do that Monday. Okay, Wednesday, let's see. And then also I might have to reserve time in the mouse house, like maybe 10 a.m. to 10:45 to pick up the mice. I have to go do that. Okay, so let me highlight that. Okay, let's do that. Moving on, Wednesday, I'm going to harvest the rest of the mice. So I'm doing half of them Tuesday and half of them Wednesday. And I have a student coming in 9:30 to 1. So he's gonna help me. Oh, that totally reminds me, you guys. I was hoping to have a meeting. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to switch that, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch that. I scheduled a meeting with my students for Tuesday at 11, but I think I might have to switch that. There's just too much going on. Tuesday, I might have to go ahead and switch that. So let's make a mental note here. Reschedule students meeting. Okay, so Wednesday, what we're gonna do is we're going to do the lung harvest with my student. There's 4 mice, so if we finish by noon, I think that would be good. So that means we're gonna pick up, I'll try to get there early, so I'll pick up mice from 9 to 9:30. So that means I have to schedule time in the mouse house to pick those up, pick up the mice, get back to lab by 9:30. My student arrives at 9:30. We hit the ground running, lung harvest 9:30 to noon. We also have cryopreservation day 3. And let's see, I might schedule that, let's see, let's do 12 o'clock to 1 p.m. And then from 1:30 p.m. to 5 p.m., we're going to do the secondary antibody staining. That's a completely different experiment that I am doing alongside this lung harvesting experiment. Okay. Thursday the 4th, we're going to harvest 8 mice. So Thursday, that's going to be another long day, you guys. So let's pull for one of these large rounded boxes. Okay, and then I have Jesse. I have another student coming in Wednesday. Okay, so let me make a note of that. He can help me with the secondary antibody incubation. Thursday, the 4th, okay, it's gonna be lung harvest and day 4 cryopreservation. So we're gonna do 8 harvests. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up my 9 to, let's say, 9:40 a.m. So I have to reserve time. I have 2 students coming in. One's coming 10 to 3, and then another one is coming 11 to 2 p.m. So let's see. Let me think out this day as well. Okay, I'd be happy if we finished around 1 p.m. So I'm going to map it out that we're finishing at 1 p.m. So we're harvesting 1 cohort. This is the day 3 cohort. So we're harvesting mice 3 days after their initial lung injury on Monday. And they have 2 different genotypes. We have a transgenic mutant and also a normal, or what we call wild type. And then we have cryopreservation day 4. And then I'm going to schedule that 2 to 3 p.m. Let's give myself a little bit of a break here. So if we end at 1, I'm going to give myself an hour break just in case things run long. So cryopreservation day 2, day 3. And then I think I might be ready for the microscope at this point. Okay, so we also have to book time on the microscope. I had to pull up my Google Calendar here. Okay, so microscope, let's see. It looks like it's free. Wednesday on. So by Thursday the 4th, it should be free. So, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. microscope. I even might say just 6 p.m. So I have to book that. Might as well just do it right now. Book it on the key-ins. Save that. Let's go back to the monthly view. There we go. Key-ins, 3 to 6 p.m. Go back to our Word document. Friday, long slope splits of lungs. Okay, we have 2 things to do. Friday, okay, so Friday, let's see. I have to split all of the lobes. So now we have essentially, let's see, how many do we have? We have 16 lobes now. So now at this point, by Friday, we have 16 whole lung organs. And now for further processing, we need to split the lungs into their separate lobes. Lungs actually, at least in mice, have 5 different lobes, and we split them all apart using forceps and scissors and get them ready for processing. Thankfully, I have a student who's really good at this, and he's going to be in on Friday. So he's going to be in charge of that. And then, meanwhile, I am going to do, day 5 cryopreservation and practice cryosectioning. And that's going to be 11 a.m. to, I'm going to say around 2 p.m. Okay, perfect. And then that takes us to the end of Friday. And whatever time I have left, let's say 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., I might even have to push it to 5:30 or 6 p.m., we are going to do a mouse house check. Wow, the spread turned out really green, you guys. I did not mean it to be so green, but it's cute. So I'm highlighting all of the places that I need to book. So I already booked the microscope here. Mouse house, like so. And then I'm also gonna highlight things that are priorities and need to happen. Like I really need to make these reagents before I launch into any staining or anything like that. I'm also going to highlight in yellow all the cryopreservation stuff, so that way I can email my colleague in case he's interested in joining. Okay, so that's going to be in yellow. I'm going to go ahead right now and book the mouse house. Okay, I think we're pretty much set. The only thing I'm worried about is I just don't have a lot of time to do a lot of like mouse colony checks and genetic testing. That's like two of the major things that I do for my job. And when I have a lot of other stuff going on, it's hard for me to get back to those like foundational responsibilities. And so I'm just going to make a note of like when I have time, check in with the mouse house. It might be one of those things where I'm going to have to go in like 5 to 7 p.m. like a Wednesday, or 6 to 8 p.m. on Thursday to do these like foundational colony checks. It's just one of those weeks, you guys, where there's like an insane amount of things to do. I'm happy that, you know, I'm coming from a very relaxing 4-day weekend, and the 2 weeks before this were pretty chill as well. So, you know, I don't mind hustling a little bit this week and next week, especially since the holidays are right around the corner and things are going to slow down quite a bit in these last 2 weeks before the end of the year. I'm also going to make a note to check in with one of the projects that requires us to kind of keep an eye on pregnancies and pregnant females in this project, because we're immediately going to start running experiments after mice give birth and we have young pups or neonates at hand. Okay, there we go. Check in with mice to-dos. I would like to type up a protocol for the cryopreservation. Let's see if that happens, you guys. Oh, that was really nice, you guys. It was very nice to kind of get this off of my chest. I've been definitely thinking about it, about what needs to happen tomorrow, because it's, as you can see, it's insanely packed. I'm gonna pull out some winter stickers. Let's have some fun. It's not all work here. Let's have some fun. Ooh, how cute, this little candy cane. Let's put that there. I'm trying to leave the weekend kind of free. This is where I like to just like drop notes down and, you know, write anything that I should do or I should be aware of before going into next week. And usually, you guys, I like using this spot down here to write some extracurricular, like professional development things that I have going on. But this week is too crazy to think about that kind of stuff. So anything is going to be anything that I kind of have cooking on the side, which I have a lot of things cooking on the side. That stuff is going to have to wait, because this week is going to be way too intense. If by some miracle I do manage to get done early or have some free time, I'll probably be like recuperating and resting from this insane week. Like, I would not be surprised, you guys, if I stayed at work until 8 p.m. A lot of these days. Let's just throw some decor here on the side, maybe some checklists like so. Cute. Have to add a little snowman here. Cute, cute, cute. A little cup of hot cocoa. I'll add that there. Maybe a little present over here. This plan with me was a little bit different than the usual, you guys. You know how I usually do it is I'll write out my goals here on the sidebar and then sort of map out my week from my goals. But this week is a little bit different because, like I said, I prepped my plan. I had a rough idea already of what needed to happen. So I prepped my plan last week, and so now it was just a matter of like kind of figuring out what was happening when, and the hourly schedule and that kind of stuff. I already knew my goals. Mainly, there's 3 major things that I need to do this week. That's the lung injury experiments that are going to start all day Monday and kind of reverberate throughout the week, starting with lung harvests Tuesday, Wednesday for the baseline conditions. So these are mice that we're not going to injure. They're going to be our like control group. And then on Thursday, we're going to start harvesting our half of our experimental mice to get a snapshot of how lung injury looks like 3 days after the event. And then on Monday, actually, we're going to harvest the last experimental cohort. So next Monday, the 8th, to get a look at lung injury 7 days after the event happened. So that is the timeline of this experiment, which actually reminds me, oh my goodness, you guys, I need to weigh my mice daily. So let me grab a sticker, you guys. I'm gonna grab a sticker and I gotta make a note of this. So every day after lung injury, they need to be weighed. So I need to set aside at least 30 minutes, ideally an hour, to weigh the mice. I can probably do that Tuesday at 10 when I pick up the mice. Same with Wednesday at 9. Thursday at 9, I could also weigh them. Friday, I could weigh them in the afternoon. Okay, so I do have time in the mouse house. I could sneak it in. So I'm just going to put a sticker here and I'll put weigh mice daily, which also reminds me, I want to start keeping records of these lung injury experiments. Okay, that's it, you guys. I'm going to leave it like that. I feel a lot better. I am going to have to reschedule the students meeting that I had originally scheduled Tuesday at 11. We'll have to figure out when's a better time for that, but I'm going to go ahead and do that after I finish the video here. I'm going to book my time in the mouse house. I need my phone for that, so I'll do it after this video. But the microtome cutting machine is booked. The microscope is booked. I might even go ahead and start booking it for Monday as well. Well, actually, no, we'll hold off on that. By the way, I need to email my results, my data, to the lab after this microscope session. And then I'm going to make a note on Friday to book the microscope based on feedback. If I hear back from my team concerning my results, if I hear back by the end of day Friday, then that's something I should do so that I can get the microscope booked for the next week, because it can get busy. People can end up booking the microscope all day. And so if you don't get in early, you don't really get like a good time to get to the microscope. So I'm going to set myself that reminder. All right, everyone, that's it. I'm going to head off. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I really appreciate it. Good luck with work this week. We're so close to the holidays and another long break. So let's get through this final push. Hope to see you tomorrow with day 2 of Vlogmas, so stay tuned. Take care of yourself. God bless you and have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy planning, guys. Adios.